Interesting article from Australia, and it's not really interesting, but it's kind of stupid actually. But it's indicative of the way that a lot of people work around the world, including the U.S. The title of the article is, "Are You Destined to Be Bad with Money?" People who are always in debt and often painted as materialistic and irresponsible, but their overspending is not necessarily their fault. The way parents deal with money around their children sets their financial habits for the rest of their lives. So if you're bad with money, you can blame your mom and dad. Personal finance expert Simone Kelly says parents have the biggest influence on people's money habits. Your attitude to money is just like your eating, exercise, and cleanliness habits. It is learned, said Dr. Kelly. People who don't work and are on the dole, it tends to happen for generations. It's a generational thing. If it wasn't a learned behavior, then we would see more people get out of poverty. Well, I mean, there's certainly part of that you got to say is true. I mean, every one of us knows that you're a product of your upbringing. And every one of us has said, I will never say that, and you open your mouth and one of your parents comes out towards your children. I would never say that to my kid. And you open your mouth and you sound exactly like your dad or your mom. Every one of us have done that. And so we do know that we learn from our parents. We do learn discipline. We do learn physical attributes and financial habits and these things. We do learn these things. These are learned things from your parents. To say that it's not your fault to continue to do it is to say that you are powerless to your upbringing. Now, that's where this article goes off the rails. Yes, are you influenced by your upbringing? Yes, you are influenced by your upbringing. Are a lot of your patterns largely put into place by your upbringing? Absolutely. So parents, be very careful what you're modeling before your children, because your children will save if you save. Your children will give if you give. Your children will budget if you budget. I mean, so be very careful. More is caught than taught. Rachel Cruz, my daughter, every time she speaks to parents, she says that. More is caught than taught. More is caught than taught. That part is very true. But let me just tell you, if you're 30 years old and you're still blaming all of your stupidity on your parents, you're still a child. Because at some point, you have to throw your shoulders back, grow a backbone, and be a grown-up and say, well, regardless of how my parents were, I don't have to be that way. I now am an adult. I get to choose my destiny. I just don't like fatalism, where people say, well, you're just, you have the debt gene. You have it in your DNA. So you're always going to be in debt. You're stuck. That's like a caste system or something. That's ridiculous. In America, you have the right to choose. You can get up today. You can get up this morning and decide to be something different. You can be the one that changes your family tree. Your family tree could be full of bank robbers, drug dealers, and prostitutes, and you can get up this morning and decide to change your family tree. You get to decide that as an adult. Now, an adult is not necessarily an age, by the way. An adult is a level of emotional and spiritual maturity. So be a grown-up. Put the big boy pants on. Make a decision for yourself. There are things you can do better than your family did them. And you should. I hope my children do things better than I did them. I was stupid and went broke. I wouldn't wish that on my kids. Don't do stupid things like Dad did. And they were little kids when that happened, so they're destined to be bankrupt. There will always be a bankrupt Ramsey. What a bunch of crap. We can choose to be different. Choose. Make a choice. Look in the mirror and say, it's now my fault. That's the day you become a grown-up, when you quit blaming your parents for all your stupidity. And you can blame them for some of your physical attributes. That's about it. After that, boom. Well, I mean, all Ramseys are fat, so you're always going to be fat. No, they're not. By the way, they're not. But, it's just not going to live like that. I can decide not to eat too much. Duh. I can decide not to use a credit card. I can decide to live on a budget. I can decide to save money. I can make a decision to control my destiny. And when people start believing this other stuff, it's called a victim mentality. And so, yes, your parents and how they deal with money around your kids. It's very important that you are very smart with how you deal with money around your kids, because you are affecting their future behaviors, and you're either starting them off in their life with a head start because you gave them good behaviors, or you're starting them off in their life with a deficit because you gave them bad behaviors. But once your children are 20 or 25 years old or 30 years old, it's time to be a grown-up and make your own decisions. You get to decide what your destiny is. So decide. You're not destined to be exactly what your parents were. Decide to do something different. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.